Well, hello there, guys. It's time for friendship. Anybody out there get the reference? Anyway, this is just stupid, pointless vlog time. Because I wanted to pose a question that I was thinking about and talking to a friend about yesterday. And I thought maybe it would make for an interesting vlog. The question, as is in the title down below, I believe, is would you want to live forever? Would you want to no longer have to fear death? You know, for whatever reason. Obviously, most of the time it's got to be some sort of fantastical thing, like what if you became a vampire? You know, what if you had 3 wishes from a genie, because that's going to happen. And one of the wishes that you choose is to never die. You know, now tossing aside all the crazy shenanigans and stuff that could be pulled there, but if you had the choice to literally never die, or live your life as you normally would and pass away naturally or whenever it's going to happen for you, would you consciously make the decision to, you know, pull the plug on death? So, you know, that question is posed to all of you who watch it, but I'm going to give my answer here and reasons why. And without a shadow of a doubt, without hesitation, I would say yes. I would absolutely love to live forever. Maybe it's easy to sit here now and say to myself, gosh, you know, in 2,000 years, would I still want to be just sitting around doing whatever I'm doing? I think I would much rather have all those years to ponder over whether or not I made the right decision, and I would just take my chances and say yes. I'd like to live forever. Reasons why. Because, not to sound like a sad sack or anything like that, but I'm almost 40 years old. Do I feel like I've lived a complete life of 40 years, as where most people would by this point in their life? No, not even close. Because of things like my social anxieties and just in general my shyness and my nervousness about things in the world, I've held back from so many things in my life. And I think all the time, you know, probably wrongly, it's probably wrong of me to do this, but I think all the time of, wow, I'm almost 40. That means in 10 years I'll be 50, and then I'll be 60, and I'm going to start hitting that age of, you know, where life span these days is not, you know, much more than 60, 70 years old. I don't know what it is exactly right now, but just because that's the average lifespan doesn't mean that you're going to live to that age. So I'm at a point in my life now where I've thought, yeah, my childhood years are over, and in that time of the of your life where you usually have kids and they grow up and all that, I'm starting to enter into those years of getting through all that part of life. So anyway, long story short, I don't feel like I've lived the life that I could had I not been held back by so many, you know, silly things like anxieties and whatnot. And I'm starting to feel that pinch of time, so that that makes it even worse. Worrying about something else to worry about can cut into what life should be all about, which is enjoying it. And I enjoy life in a lot of ways, but I'm nowhere near the level that I should be, and nowhere near the level a lot of other people would be by this age. So, if I was able to live forever, perhaps I could move past some of those types of things. Perhaps I would get over all of that, and I could, you know, live many lives. Because if you want to look at it from the perspective my friend and I were thinking about, I have to admit something that I don't really care about admitting, but some people may think it's silly, but I'm a fan of the Twilight series. I've read the books, and I've seen all the movies except for the last 2. And there were a lot of concepts in that series that I was thinking about yesterday, which is, you know, You couldn't stay in one place for too long before people would realize that guy hasn't aged at all. You couldn't really have a relationship with somebody who wasn't in the same situation, because eventually they would grow old and they would see that you hadn't. So you'd have to move around a lot. You'd have to think about who you interacted with, what kind of relationships you would have. What if this was something that happened to me that obviously, because my daughter is already, here, that it wouldn't have passed down to her, she wouldn't have inherited it through the genes and all that. So what about that? Do you have to eventually separate yourself from your own family members? That would be rough, but those are things that I do believe that I could take care of. I don't know. Another thing I guess you would have to take into consideration is, when does this happen to you? Like, if it happens to me now when I'm almost 40, do I now therefore go on through the rest of my life looking 40? Do I attain some sort of reattain youth in this? Because if I did, I would love to go back to being around about 18 to 21. But another question would be, would I want, if this was something like vampirism, would I want to share that with someone else? Would I want to pass it on to my daughter in that way? I thought about that question this morning, and I was like, what I would do is I would wait until she was an adult and could think for herself and make her own decisions, and then I would say, this is how I am. You don't have it innately, but you can get it. You can be made to have this. Here's the things you need to think about. Perhaps I would give her enough time to have relationships that would fail or succeed, and let her go through some things in life that she could experience, so that she would know that those ups and downs of life would be there forever. But then I'd leave it up to her, and if she chose not to do it, I would accept that. But as a whole, it would be really nice to have a group of people, friends or even family, who were all in the same situation, so that you would always have somebody you would know for the rest of eternity or whatever, that they would always be there for you. And I can definitely feel where a guy like Edward Cullen in the Twilight movies would want someone that he would be in love with and have a relationship, who would be there with him forever, even though he fought with her to think about what she was doing and all that, and he beat himself up. And maybe that's where people come down on the Twilight series, because it's so angsty. It's so... I mean, those people tear themselves apart more than I tear myself apart, which is ridiculous. But if I had to model it around a situation, it would probably be something like that. I would like to be able to live forever. I'd like to have a surrogate family or actual family members who would be there till the end of time as well. And I would love to have, someone important to me who could take that journey with me too, as long as they understood what it was like. But otherwise, beyond that, I could watch friends and coworkers and whatnot come and go. I mean, that's what my life has been filled with, is people coming and going of their own accord or due to things that I've done. I'm so prepared. I'm so already in that particular frame of mind that I would have no problems whatsoever with that. I think of Data from Star Trek Next Generation, who also contemplated these thoughts. As an android, he was never going to die like a human, like an alien, like an organic being was. And he contemplated what it would be like to see the people he had become friends with and grown close to come and go. Now, he was aspiring to attain humanity. I'm aspiring to attain something beyond humanity. If I'm to indulge in this fantasy to the fullest, I want to not be just a normal human. I want to be something more. And I'm so well suited to things that a lot of people probably wouldn't think about. The time's going to come in my life when my dad and my mom and them are no longer here. I've moved so many times in my life that I know what it's like to have close personal friends and to never see them again for years, and some of them never see ever again. So I am like totally fitted for stuff like that. And moving around, I moved so much when I was younger. I'm used to that. Reinventing myself is something that I do all the time, to be honest. Most people may not notice it, but up here I reinvent myself. This channel is a reinvention of who I am. So I could do it. I could totally live for thousands of years and longer and beyond that until whatever this world becomes, when it ends, when it changes. I don't know. But it's just something that I was thinking about, and I thought maybe I'd vlog for a minute and blah, 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 blah about it, and ask what anybody watching this thinks. Would you want to? Would you want to live forever? Or would you just want life to take its natural course? I'd be curious to see what people have to say about that. But as for me, it'd be a thumbs up to the yes. I would love for that to happen. I would love to just have try after try after try of living life and having relationships and trying new things at all times. It would be a dream come true. So anyway, that's just my silly little vlog. I'm going to wrap it up. I'll talk to you next time, and I look forward to seeing your comments.